Nobody wakes up in the morning thinking, I'm going to go to A&E today. Nobody knows. Nobody knows who it's going to be.
Paediatric trauma call, 15 minutes.
Code red, helipad response.
You're having a heart attack.
We want to be in and out of scan in the next 10 minutes.
I can't feel any pulse.
Any reception, can I help you? Yeah, 24 hours, 7 days a week.
I love that question. What's your opening hours?
St George's, London, one of the busiest and most advanced A&E departments in the world.
Beautiful. It's as if we've done it before.
We are there when awful things happen to pick up the pieces.
We have a 2-year-old who was kicked by the horse.
We see the unpredictableness of what happens in life, and we're suddenly having to explain why it's gone wrong.
I can't feel my left leg.
You'll be okay.
A place where life
Amy, selfie!
Down below. Too slow.
love
Such a big boy. So proud of you.
and loss
I'm still here.
unfold every single day.
So we don't shake hands at this hospital, we fist bump. Can I have a fist bump?
All the patients you're about to see were treated in just one 24-hour period.
Hello, darling.
You genuinely do see the best of people in this job. You'll see strangers rushing to the aid of someone they've never met. You just see things that make you realise just how important the people in your life are and the people around you are.
A&E, can I... Oh.
I'm 22 and I'm playing with a train.
Nice.
Hang on a minute. I can feel something on my toes.
Resus.
In charge of resus today is Melissa. She's been a consultant at St George's for 7 years.
Yeah, if you could come down now, I can take the handover with you, and if there's no other concerns, we'll just leave you with the leg, if that's OK, obviously with patient attached. OK.
Half of my family are doctors, so when I was little, I always said that's the last thing I'd do. But I just started thinking about it when I was probably about 15, 16, and realised I did actually want to do it. I was just being stubborn.
Hey, Pickle, can I have a look at you? Hey? Look, what's it?
If you've had a really hard day, you can't take it home with you, otherwise you go nuts, really.
I think it's got slightly reduced air entry at the left base. Nothing else.
Obviously, talking to your friends and your family does help. I tend to go to the gym a lot or go to, I don't know, I'm into salsa at the moment. I'm completely incapable of doing nothing. I sometimes have to actually write in my diary, do not go out. It does look like I'm just sat here on my expanding backside, but that's not true. There's some things I wouldn't do, like I wouldn't ever ride a motorbike because I see awful things all the time. And I certainly would think twice about cycling in London. But it shouldn't stop you doing things, knowing that anything could happen at any time.
Hello, St George's. Is it medical or trauma? Cyclist versus a car. Yep. Intubated. Yep, thank you, bye-bye. Adult male trauma call, 10 minutes.
A 43-year-old man was cycling home from work when he crashed face first into a car.
Did I just hear something?
GCS3, cyclist.
Ooh, that's bad.
Not suitable for direct CT. Is it this hemorrhage in the face that they can't really control, yeah?
Doctors at the scene had to put him into an induced coma. as his airways were blocked by serious facial blood loss.
How long have we got?
10 minutes.
We obviously want to get a patient through CT scanner as quickly as possible. That will give us a much better idea of exactly what their injuries are, but you can't send them if they're not stable. You're not in the room with them when they're having the scan, and it's not the best place to resuscitate someone.
Are we having the other anaesthetist come down? Because we've got a GCS3 with a facial trauma, so that's probably quite a good one for an anaesthetist.
Fall from bicycle. Another bicycle day.
His wife Suki is at home 15 miles from London and is yet to be informed of the accident.
I just had this sense that something had happened.
Can you grab the lead apron?
John was going to try and come home a little bit earlier that day because my son had been on a school trip, so I'd made an early dinner. He was quite late. I thought that was really weird because whenever he was late, he always called. I rang him, kept ringing him and leaving messages. It was really frightening that I couldn't get hold of him.
It's the 4th cyclist we've had today.
About 10 minutes later, the doorbell rang, and I could just see the silhouette of a policeman's hat, and I just knew.
Look, that's a very gory one. Oh God, he looks very unwell.
Cool. Can we get the curtain shut? Jeez, that's a good going from a bike.
Ready, set, lift.
Everyone ready to listen? Yeah. He was cycling, wearing a helmet, coming down a hill when a car has turned and he has T-boned the side of the car with significant damage to the side of the car. He has significant facial injuries. He's got lacerations to the frontal face and nose. His nose is completely destroyed. He's got dental loss as well. He's had a significant lot of suction, 3 bottles of blood out.
Okay, great, thank you. With a cyclist, if someone was coming with head and face injuries, you'd worry about whether there was a bleed in his head, whether he had bruising in his brain. But often there's other injuries as well. And you need to constantly monitoring them and reassessing them because things can change really fast.
Okay, great. John, primary survey, please.
Symmetrical breathing.
Blood pressure, I can see your head.
139, 698. Heart rate is 46.
Can someone check pupils, please?
Pupils, minimal response.
If you've got increased pressure in the brain, the pupils won't react so well. That can be very serious.
John will need an urgent CT scan to determine the impact to his brain and spine. But there are concerns that he's too unstable to be moved out of resus.
You're max fax, are you? I wouldn't want to take anything off until he's had a CT. I just want to make sure he's stable enough we get him around to scan it.
Even before I opened the door, I was thinking, how do I manage this and protect our children?
Have we got family here?
His wife is going to come in.
Everyone happy?
Okay.
I felt dread. Your whole stomach's just scrunched up. I thought, not like he was dead.
"43-year-old John came into A&E after crashing headfirst into the side of a car.
You're happy with the tube, the top end, and the vent settings and all of that? Fine.
He's been stabilised, but needs an urgent CT scan to assess the injuries he sustained to his head, neck and spine.
That's the...
Fine. So go to CT now.
A head injury can be anything from just a minor bump on the head to a huge bleed and a catastrophic brain injury. And depending on what you find on the scan and how the patient is, Depends on whether anything needs doing, whether the patient needs an operation or not.
Cyclists going downhill, I mean, but for a bicycle to make that big a dent in a car, that's quite an impact. Because it's 2 windows, both side windows have gone on the near side, and the whole 2 panels are really dented in as well. We were going to get a full scan.
Breathe normally.
John's wife, Suki, is on her way to St George's.
We met on a blind date. He and his friend had been single for a long time. They had a deal with each other that they set each other up with 1 date a month.
Breathe in.
And I'd said in my text, you know, how will I recognise you? He said I'd be the one with the homegrown rose on my dashboard. And I thought that was quite sweet.
Breathe normally.
He drove 2 hours by car to pick me up. It was really old MG, I think 1972, convertible. He just got out of the car and he's very tall, obviously very athletic looking and sort of slightly loping, a bit clumsy, just with these, you know, big smiley eyes. It just was just so easy straight away. I knew pretty quickly, I think, just because he was so kind and gentle and very, very bright. John was a geophysicist. You know, he loved physics, got a brain the size of a planet. Quite soon after I met John, he said, oh, I didn't sleep very well last night, and he'd been trying to calculate the density of the Earth. I mean, how many people do that in their free time for fun? But there was no bragging about it, and it was just really attractive. My brother once said to me, John makes other guys look bad. There's just so many lovely, happy memories. He'd cycle over from where he lived and put something on my doorstep, so when I woke up in the morning it was there, and instead of ringing the bell it would just be there as a surprise. It was just really romantic.
Doctors must wait for his scan results to confirm what further injuries he may have sustained to his head, neck and spine.
Oh my God, Sam, you never did that.
She did. She just saw her.
Apple pies again. Nikki done the banoffee. Mary done the peach tart.
And the treacle cake came out okay, you know?
Yes, it was grand.
Patricia?
Oh, Michael, Patricia. Watch Dad's feet, watch my leg.
68-year-old Pat has come to A&E with her son Michael and one of her grandsons, Darius, after injuring her leg whilst on holiday.
My name's Claire, I'm one of the nurse practitioners. Tell me what happened.
My grandson, one of them, had kind of threw himself backwards and knocked my legs out from under me.
So you had all the x-rays, there was nothing broken?
No.
Is the pain getting better or not really improving?
No.
Okay. And who do you live with?
Myself.
It was the first time we'd holidayed for a while. We'd always holidayed together as one big family. I talk to my mum every day on the phone. I see her most days. For her, family is everything. I remember growing up as a young child, She was working 2, 3 jobs at a time. She always wanted better for us and was always there. She was a very, very loving mum.
How was it getting up and down the stairs?
Very difficult.
Is it a 2-storey house?
Yeah.
I remember one year we went on holiday around London because my father was in the 2nd Battalion Grenadier Guards. He'll show us, you know, where he stood guard at Buckingham Palace, where he was at Westminster, all of these things that happened. We, as young kids, thought it was great.
Ah, yeah, it's bruised at the back as well.
We never had big cars and big boats and big houses and big beds or anything. We had each other, and we discovered that later on in life that how important that was.
Is it painful down this side?
Not so much, but... Oh, yeah, that hurts.
Well, we're going to have to redo the x-rays. Do you want any painkillers just now?
Yeah, I could do with some. I got married at 16, and I suppose I was a bit of a rebel. But my husband, Frank, he was calm to my storm. When we got married, people said 16 and 19. They thought I was pregnant, but I wasn't. I remember there was an old lady where we lived up the road, and every time I went past, I could see her eyes following me, and she's just looking. And after about a year, I saw her watching me, and I turned around and I went, this pregnancy's really taking a long time, isn't it? And she just, boom, shut up.
Thanks. Appreciate the leg.
I knew that I was marrying for life.
Patricia?
Yes.
Hi. Porter's just going to take you down for an X-ray.
OK, see you later.
Pat's x-rays will confirm what damage she's done to her knee.
We had a lot of ups and a lot of downs, but we never ever went to sleep on a row. And we never went to bed without telling each other we loved them. Together for 49 years. Whoa, don't you drop that on my knee. That's all I need.
Do you know what we used to love? The Marks and Spencer's chocolate fudge cake.
Oh, yeah.
With fresh cream. Wasn't it lovely?
It's like a space shuttle, yes.
It's been 15 minutes since John was scanned in CT for brain, neck and spinal injuries.
So, once you're happy, I'd like to take this off.
I'll come and hold it.
Yes, please.
Whilst doctors wait for his results, specialist surgeons must assess his facial injuries.
No, pelvic binder can come off.
His wife Suki has arrived at St George's.
We were married within a year. You know, I was looking for someone that was kind, gentle, funny, intelligent, you know, fit, sporty like me. You just get to a stage in life where you just know. I don't think I've known him go more than one day without exercise. Yeah, it was his passion, you know, he just loved it. Occasionally, he'd get up early and take his bike to work. So that was about a 2-hour ride. I always tried to get him to take his phone. I mean, you hear about so many, you know, accidents in London on bikes. I worried about him all the time.
So I'll leave you to deal with his facial injuries. I'm going to go back to CT and speak to them as to see whether there's anything on the primary report. His wife is aware, and we'll get her in a little bit.
Radiologists have John's full scan results.
Hello. Ah. It's lots of writing.
Yeah, lots of problems.
The abdominal organs look fine. Yeah, in the brain, he's got some small contusions. He's got multiple spine fractures.
Are they all?
They're unstable fractures. But it's really probably the worst thing he's got.
The scans reveal multiple fractures to John's face and spine, and a bleed on the brain.
If somebody's got a nasty fracture to one of the bones in their back, it can be really serious. I mean, it can mean the difference between someone walking again and somebody not walking again.
That's a horrible looking T5 fracture.
God.
Really most concerning.
Cyclist John has a spinal fracture, facial injuries, and a bleed on his brain after crashing headfirst into a car.
So if you want to come and see him just now.
It'll be the first time his wife Suki has seen him since he left for work this morning.
No, we're not going to be waking him up for a while. He's on medication to keep him asleep. Okay. This is fine. So I know it's a lot to take in. He's got a bit of bruising in his brain. We will speak to the neurosurgeons about it. He's got some broken bones in his neck and his back as well. I'm going to speak to the spinal surgeons about that.
And could that result in any paralysis? We just don't know.
What you worry about is if there's bits of the bone that's sort of sticking out the back of this, what's called the spinal canal. In his case, there is a bit sort of sticking out a bit, so we need to wait and see at the moment. Okay. Is there anything else you want to ask at the moment?
Well, if Teresa's coming in.
Will you be able to hear me? Just chat to him, yeah. He should be able to hear you, hopefully, so. I knew 2 people who had died as a result of brain injuries, people my age. So I knew how serious this could be. It was very shocking seeing him like that. I mean, it really does go into slow motion. I think whenever anything bad used to happen, if you had a tricky day, you know, the person where I'd want to talk to was John. I just want to tell John about this. He was my source of comfort and reassurance, and the person that would wrap you up in your arms and say, it'll be okay, but he couldn't do that. Is he coming home from work? What does he do? Oh, right. It's very clever. Have you guys got kids? How old are they? 8, 6, oh, bless them. Oh dear. He needs to be, he will be. Might just be a bit of recovering time.
Doctors are waiting to hear if John will need urgent facial surgery. They still don't know when they'll be able to wake him from his induced coma. Only then will they find out the extent of his brain and spinal damage.
St George's. Yep.
An 89-year-old man is being rushed to St George's with severe chest pain.
Adult priority ETA 12 minutes.
Chest pain is probably one of the commonest things we see in the emergency department. If someone's young and fit, you wouldn't be too worried usually, but you're more likely to have something significant like a heart attack if you're 80-something.
His wife, Anne, has travelled with him in the ambulance.
Right, Libby, this is Adrian. He was sitting having his lunch when he got acute left-sided chest pain, as if somebody was sitting on his chest, really, pressure.
Okay.
He has a pacemaker, but he's never had chest pain before.
Adrian doesn't like being in hospital. He's had every possible operation. He had a pacemaker put in, so I was determined to find out what was wrong with Adrian.
Do you have pain in your chest at the moment?
I do, just there. There's a bit of heart failure or something feeling.
And if you take a really big breath in, how does that pain feel then? It increases. Okay. Now I'm just going to uncover your chest completely just to put some more sticky labels on, and we'll get an ECG.
Health problems? Yeah, I don't want to think about them because, you know, it's been a very hairy time. We're absolutely exhausted at the moment. But then he doesn't make a fuss about anything. He's very brave. He's supported me and I've supported him.
The medical team need to take a reading of Adrian's heart and do a blood test to confirm whether or not he's having a heart attack.
Hi there.
Hi.
I'm Dr. Newfer. So you have been experiencing chest pain, is that right?
I've got it right there. I can still feel
there.
it.
Okay. How long has this been going on?
Since lunchtime,
Okay.
it came on.
Yeah.
He was sitting down with the tray on top of his knees, watching television, and suddenly warm.
Yeah.
He never finished his salad.
Okay. What we're going to do is I'm going to have a look at your ECG. We'll await the blood result. Yeah? I'll be right back.
Right. No. It's come as a shock for you, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And I feel the same.
Yeah.
Parsnip, sweet potato and beetroot. At least, you know, they're
Very unusual taste.
better for you.
Yeah.
Big fish, a little fish, cardboard. You're doing it too fast, dude. Dude. It's like big fish, little fish, cardboard box.
I'm really thirsty.
I'm Friday, how do you do?
Shut up.
68-year-old Pat came into A&E with her son Michael and grandson Darius, having injured her knee whilst on holiday. They're waiting for the results of her earlier X-ray.
Can I ask one of you guys to go down to the pharmacy to pick up a prescription for her?
Yeah, he's enjoying it.
No worries.
I don't know if I could say she was independent. My father did a lot of the physical parts, like the driving, the shopping. He'd open the door for her. He'd help her in the car. He was a gentleman. To me, he was just a loving, caring father, but a friend. I mean, he was more to me than a father. You'll have to fill out the form, but Nan doesn't.
I don't pay.
Yeah. Because she's a pensioner.
Yeah, because you're old.
Shut your
Mwah.
I think it was 1969. Frank was at Northern Ireland for 5 months. and their job was to go over and disarm the B specials. I didn't know who's going to get shot or is he going to be hurt, and that if anything happened to him, there'd be the 2 boys and I, you know, what would I do?
If your family's relying on that more and more.
I always look forward to him coming home.
I'll x-ray the whole lower leg.
In every letter he told me he loved me. Oh, you're too good for me. I go, no, I loved him. Still do.
Jesus, lady, my knees
You're winding again?
My knees are hurting.
Yeah, that's because you broke it.
I haven't broke my knee.
Emergency nurse practitioner Claire has got Pat's X-ray results.
Hello.
Hiya, so...
Not good, what?
Well, you have got a fracture.
I have. Things I've got a fracture.
So we'll put you back in the brace. I know, sorry, that knee needs to be kept immobile. And then we'll get you seen by our physio, okay?
Okay. Oh, dear. I've got to go stir crazy being stuck indoors.
Dad began to not be able to do things that he enjoyed. He would say, I just haven't got the energy. So he went to the doctor and they'd sent him to the hospital quite urgently. I think it took a few visits before they diagnosed that he had bowel cancer. But he was very positive. He was, you know, fine, quite accepting. He never said, why me? But my mum's confidence was shaken. All right, I'll see you in a minute. Yeah, I'm just gonna
Okay.
All right.
He died in my bed. And I've still got the same bed. I won't get rid of it, you know, because it was ours. I still sleep on my side of the bed. I quite often wake up in the night and do this, pat the side of the bed, you know, and there's nobody there. It's been 3 years. He wasn't just my husband, he was my best friend. He was everything. If it hadn't have been for the boys and my grandchildren, I would want to go with him. Because I didn't want to be without him. It's like losing part of you as gone. Maybe with me, my best part had gone.
Are you in pain now?
No, I know it's there.
Do you?
89-year-old Adrian has come to A&E suffering with chest pain. His wife Anne is with him.
Has it upset you?
It's worrisome, isn't it? When you feel it can't, it has to be the heart.
Doctors need to find out more about Adrian's medical history to see if he has any underlying conditions that could affect his heart.
Okay, any heart problems in your history, in your past medical history?
I don't think I have, have I?
This is a surprise.
Angina, anything like that?
No, in fact, I've always felt I'm extraordinarily fit.
Okay.
You know.
Do you smoke at all?
I did, up till what, how long ago?
Just a few years ago.
It's appalling. I can't remember any of these things.
Well, it's a good thing you have such a nice wife then that can
That's
remember
right.
stuff.
Before I met Adrian, I was married to somebody whose hobby was music. And I'm a bit deaf, so he married another musician.
A couple of deep breaths.
And I'd been bringing up my three sons for years on my own. I was invited to a party at a doctor and his wife's home. I saw Adrian across the room, and I said to my friend, "Who is that gorgeous man over there? I'll introduce you if you like," she said to me.
Any shortness of breath when you lay down?
We got on very well, but he was going off for a year. In fact, I never asked him where he was all that year, actually. I could do that sometime.
Okay, so what we're gonna do, my colleague already did the special blood test, so we're gonna await the results, and we're gonna do a chest X-ray as well.
Right.
Yeah?
Where's the bar here? That's what
The
I
bar? I haven't found it yet myself.
Oh, dear.
If you find it, just come
I'll
tell
let you
me.
know, yeah.
Okay.
So we're thinking of doing that with achieved good results.
Specialist surgeons have come to discuss John's surgery.
The face, we'll see how
I was very focused on the practicalities, but still, you know, my stomach was churning.
From my supervisor, the question was, it had been treated as life-threatening or life-changing?
Life-changing. We need to look further at the scans. He will need more tests at some point.
John will need to go to theatre for extensive surgery to reconstruct his face. He'll be kept in an induced coma until it's safe to wake him up and assess the extent of the damage to his brain and spine.
Children are kind of like the heart of our family, really. They're sort of everything. You know, he just sort of lit up when he was around kids. I was thinking about, what does this mean? What if he doesn't get better? We're a family and it just wouldn't be the same.
While doctors wait for Adrian's ECG and blood test results, they want to give him an X-ray to see what has been causing his chest pains.
So you're going to have a chest X-ray.
Execution squad, by the look of it.
I know, it's quite something, isn't it?
Quite soon after meeting, I didn't see him for a year. The next time I saw him, he rang up and he said, you know, can we have a meal together? And so I said, yes. He was obviously back from whatever he'd been doing. It just went from there.
I think you ought to know I've been in prison.
In prison?
Yeah. So you better watch out.
Okay, I will.
I was in prison for really 30 years as a governor of Pentonville Prison, which is certainly for serious prisoners, sometimes murderous, but you've got to try and get round 400 prison cells every day to make sure they are aware that the governor is keeping an eye on them. It's a very difficult place to run, really. And therefore, my family lost out on time available with their father. It does take an enormous toll on family life.
Thank you.
I'll just get everything, I'll be back in a minute.
Adrian's full test results have come back, showing no evidence of a heart attack.
So you're a bit too good for this area. And you're going to come with us.
Okay.
So we're not leaving you along the way or anything, don't worry.
I don't want to get married again, no.
Oh, that's nice, isn't it?
My second wife, Anne, fortunately came after I'd almost finished my career.
Oh, I'm trying to persuade mine to even ask me the first time. I know. What can you do with them, eh?
Do you miss it?
No. I think my wife has replaced the prison quite well.
We've got a lot in common, and we never stop talking, because he's such an interesting person. We're absolutely right with each other. Adrian's greatest love of my life.
30 years retirement has been a very happy time. And now, at the age of 90, I can't complain at all.
Adrian will be closely monitored on a ward, where doctors will decide if he needs to stay overnight.
I'll never be a sportsman. Oh.
You okay?
No, I've got pain in my knee.
The x-rays of Pat's leg have revealed a broken bone in her knee. Physiotherapists have been called to see her.
Oh, is this the hospital's one? Is there anything interesting?
Yeah, for you. Stop it.
Have they mentioned how large her nose is?
Oh, yes. They say, this one page here, it says, huge.
Huge nose.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Sarah, one of the physios. Hi. How are you? The doctor's obviously come to ask to see you about the knee, so they do know that there is probably a small little break there. But with the type of injury you've done, could well be some involvement with your ligaments in your knee.
Yeah.
But the X-ray won't show that exactly, so I think you're going to go to a clinic appointment tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Here. So why don't we get you in the new brace?
OK.
And then we'll see whether we can get you up.
Family to Frank and I meant everything. Still does to me.
Come out straight, well done.
Whichever son, my Michael, my Brett, my grandchildren, the last thing I will ever say to them is that I love them. Even the boy, 28 years old, the eldest one, and I still tell him I love him, and he'll tell me the same thing.
Pat will be referred to the specialist fracture clinic at St George's to decide whether or not her knee requires surgery.
You know, we'll all pull together. It's how we survive.
Oh, weather's good.
Life is hard. It's hard. We've got no silver spoons in this family. No one was born with one. Barely a wooden spoon. But we've got each other, and that's important to us.
Oh, that's it. Run away. Run away from me. I'll try.
JJ? What is it, a boy or a girl? It's a girl! It's a girl! I was just expecting a girl! Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry.
John didn't seem to be coming round from the sedation as quickly as they had been hoping. And then he went for another scan, and that's when they told us that he'd had a traumatic brain injury. And at that stage, they couldn't tell me what that meant. There are so many unknowns, and it's a waiting game. They told me it could mean personality changes, difficulty in speaking. He'd have any memories of anything. I didn't actually know who this person was going to be anymore. Potentially could have been a completely different person to the person I'd married.
The first thing I can remember after the accident, which I suppose is probably a few weeks later, was watching the nurse take down the cards from the previous occupant because they were on a very high string and she couldn't reach the string. I had to relearn some ways of talking. It's a strange feeling in a way. The lips, you can send the message for them to move. Just the sound of the words coming out is a bit different to how it was before. And having Suki there made all the difference. She's my strength and she's my one of the main reasons for being here, I would say. So she means everything to me. So my nose is slightly different shape now than it was, and I used to have a full head of hair. Not really.
Oh, your finger's out.
Oh, idiot.
George's resource.
And me and George was just riding down to the motorcycle shop. A car driver sort of just pulled out, and before I knew it, just was bang on the floor.
44-year-old kicked by a horse.
Why didn't you phone me?
Oh, God, that fucking horse. Excuse my language.
you.